Hello, this is McD the Beast, and this is McD Sports 4 coming to you today with my Navy football predictions. I think Navy is that one team in the American that could seriously contend for the American East. I think they're a dark horse for it. Last year Navy went, I believe, 8-5 or 9-4, I believe, in the regular season last year. So they're going to be good again, in my opinion. Navy's notoriously known to go at least 7-6. So, anyways, let's jump into these numbers where my cursor is right here. And FBI has them going 7-6. Gives them a 0% chance of going undefeated, a 2% chance of winning the American, and a 73rd hardest schedule out of 130 teams. Looking at this schedule, they actually play 13 games. That's a something Navy's known for. They play 13 games a year. Toughest game is going to be Notre Dame at a neutral site. Notre Dame's just much better than them, in my opinion. But their easiest game is probably against Lehigh. FCS opponent. They also have to go on the road at Hawaii. That could be potentially an easy game. But outside of that, they really don't have any easy games. They're gonna have to be fighting a lot in their games this year, in my opinion. So I'm gonna say best case scenario for the Navy is gonna be 10-3. I'm gonna say worst case scenario, I'm going to say 5-8 for this team. Let's see where I have them going. So let's jump into the schedule game by game and see where I have Navy going. First game is at Hawaii. It is at Hawaii. I do factor that. I am factoring that in a little bit, but personally, I think Hawaii is going to be one of the worst teams this year in college football. And that's why I have Navy going on the road and beating them. I think Hawaii will stay in it for a half. Navy might get off to a slow start. But I have Navy winning this game 29-16. I feel like Navy's just a better football team. Next game is against Memphis. I already did Memphis football predictions. I've already done 4 teams on the schedule. Memphis, Houston, Notre Dame, and Central Florida. So I've already done those 4 teams. So I've already done those 4 teams. But Memphis at home, I mean, you could possibly pick Navy in this one. I have seen people pick Navy. I can't blame them, but I can come to that conclusion. I had to go Memphis in this one. And I have y'all losing this game 45-35. I think Memphis will pull away late. I think Navy could stay in this game going into the 4th quarter, but Memphis pulls away late. Next game is against Lehigh. FCS opponent. I'm picking Navy beat them pretty easily. We're going to say 45-6. It's going to be the score. So 45-6 Navy in this one. Next game is at SMU. SMU is actually favored in this game. I've seen a lot of people pick SMU in this game, probably more than Navy. But I'm going to go ahead and pull the trigger and pick the upset in this one. I really don't see SMU doing that well this year. I can see SMU losing at home against Navy. And I do think they'll stay in SMU, but I have Navy going in there and beating them 31-27. So that's a big win for Navy, as going to the bye week. They're 3-1, so a good start if you're a Navy fan. That's a good start. Coming off the bye, they're at Air Force. I went back and forth with this one. I think Air Force could be maybe a bowl team this year. I think the borderline this year. Air Force. They're at home Air Force. But I had to go Navy in this one because I just think Navy's the better team. I'm going to say Navy goes ahead and beats them 26-24, a 2-point game. And that's an equal sign, not a dash. But 26-24 Navy in this one. Next game is Temple at home. Temple's going to be okay this year, but I had to go Navy again in this one. So I'm going to go ahead and pick Navy to win this one 33-25. I think Navy will pull away late in this one. I think both teams will stay in this game I think Temple will stay in this game well into the fourth quarter, but Navy will pull away. Next game is Houston at home. I went back and forth with this one. Houston's going to be a very good team this year. So they have the number one player in the country, that defensive lineman. I can't think of his name right now, but they're gonna be really good this year, Houston. And I think Navy's gonna be good too. But I'm going with the better team in this one, head to head. I'm picking Navy to lose this one, 32-28. I think I just feel like Houston's the better team here. So that puts Navy their second loss of the year. Next game is Notre Dame at neutral site. Notre Dame's the better team. The neutral site San Diego, by the way. There's no way I'm picking Navy to beat Notre Dame at neutral site. I think Navy, they'll be competitive in it, but I think what's gonna happen is that Notre Dame's gonna get out early, 17-3 at the end, midway through the second quarter, and Notre Dame's just a better team, so that's why I am going Notre Dame in this one, giving Navy their third loss of the year. Next game is at Cincinnati. Cincinnati, in my opinion, is going to be mediocre this year. It's a 50-50 game. Usually I go with the home team in these, but I'm going with the road team. I'm going to sit here and pick Navy beat Cincinnati on the road, survive this game 34-33, a 1-point game in this one. I just feel like Navy's the better team. I think they could go into Cincinnati and beat them. Next game is at Central Florida. Central Florida is the better team here. It's in Florida, in Orlando. It's a home game for Central Florida. Navy's on the road. I had to go Central Florida in this one. 34-24. I think Navy will stay in this game for like 3 quarters though, and then in the fourth quarter, Central Florida pulls away. So that gives Navy the 4th loss of the season. That puts them at 6-4. So they're gonna have to probably at least win one more game. They're already bowl eligible, but since they have 13 games, and I believe they might have to go 7-6 to make a bowl game for Navy. But anyways, next game is Tulsa. I think they beat Tulsa at home. I just don't think Tulsa's that good of a football team this year. I think they're going to go ahead and beat them 35-21. 2 touchdowns. I just feel like Tulsa's not that good. I think Navy will get a decent win in that game. That gives them 7 wins. Next game is at Tulane. We're doing Tulane football predictions later today. And listen, Tulane, in my opinion, they're going to be decent this year, Tulane. I think they're going to be very competitive. And that's why I have Navy losing this game at Tulane. I have them losing this game 28-24. So, just a 4-point loss for Navy. But I just feel like Tulane at home will be better than Navy in that game. And then last game, Army at the neutral site. Army's going to be decent this year, in my opinion. We will be doing Army football predictions within the next few days. But I think Army is going to be kind of decent this year. Doesn't mean I'm going to pick them, though. I'm picking Navy to go ahead and win this game. I'm going to say Navy wins this game 19-14. I think it'll be low scoring. So, that puts Navy at 8-5. That puts them at 8-5 with a conference record of 1. I'm just counting the wins. 1, 2, 3, 4. That puts them with a conference record of 4-4 with 8 wins. So, if you're a Navy, that definitely puts you on a bowl game. You should be happy about that because there are some people that don't even have Navy making a bowl game. But I have Navy making a bowl game. I have them going 8-5 overall with a 4-4 conference record. So those are my predictions. Tell me what you think about my Navy predictions down below in the comment section. I'm interested to hear what you guys have to say. Also, please like and subscribe. And this is McD the Beast signing off.